Boys and girls, welcome in, welcome back to the Unclutch podcast. This is episode 9. I'm one of your hosts, Chris.
Hey, what's going on? It's Isaiah.
And today we're just gonna get into a little bit of Rockets recap like we do every week. We are Houston natives. Houston is our team. We're gonna talk about them first and foremost, always. And but that's not all we're gonna talk about. We have the greatness turning 40. We're going to talk about that and how he's able to still dominate at 40 years old, which is pretty much unheard of, at least in this era. And then just a little bit of kind of the standings as we start the new year and get into the All-Star break and all that stuff, because that's right around the corner as well.
Yeah,
so
it's flying right now. So
yeah. So how was your New Year's?
New Year's was good. I went to Manuel's. Some other Unclutch members were there. Jesse, Sean, you pulled up. It was very nice. Very good way to start the new year with friends, family.
Mm-hmm.
Good food, good conversations. Played a little pool.
I won.
Yeah, good game. Good game.
Yeah.
Came down to the last ball.
Oh.
He had a little basketball, little mini game. Had fun with that. It was cool. Can't expect more than what we got, and it was great.
Yeah.
Shout out Manuel for inviting us and hosting.
100%. Shout out to Manuel. He did his thing. I went a little bit later. You got to be fashionably late sometimes. He told me it was at 8:30. I think I pulled up at like 10. But it was just getting started, so it wasn't that bad, or it wasn't that big a deal. Family, friends. That's definitely the way I would like to spend the old year going into the new year.
Yeah.
I can't really ask for that. So shout out to Manuel again. Shout out to friends, family. And all of the state of togetherness. That's definitely important. Did you come up with any New Year's resolutions?
No, I'm not a big New Year resolution person.
Really?
I don't believe you gotta wait until the calendar for it to make a change. Like,
right.
If you want to make a change, you just do it.
Mm-hmm.
You make it in your mind. You say, hey, I want to do it because I want to, not because somebody told you to, not because it's a new year, it's a new week, it's a new day, whatever. So I don't really have anything in mind.
Okay.
I just want to continue to exist. I do want to get better at things like that, but it's not something that I write down or put on a whiteboard or anything like that. It's just certain goals that I have in my mind and just how I want to be like a better overall person, a better son, a better friend, a better employee, things like that. So
yeah. Always improving, that Will Smith quote, if you can put the brick, you got to lay that one brick as best as you can lay it, and then the next day you focus on that one brick. That's it's a really good quote that I like to go by and come back to every once and again. I actually a little bit of a variant opinion, but basically a similar style. So I am a fan of coming up with New Year's resolution, but they're necessarily goals pretty much to me. They're just. For a lot of people and a lot of times when they come up with New Year's resolutions, it's kind of like, oh, I'll start it the new year because it's January 1st. This is fresh, and it kind of eliminates the waiting aspect. Like if I was to do this on a random Wednesday, December 15th or something, to me it doesn't hold as much value as like, all right, New Year, this is the time for it. Because everything starts over for you. Like at least that's the thought process. And so, the New Year's resolutions for me is just to stick to my goals. You know what I mean? It's it just eliminates the now's not the time.
Yeah.
Excuse.
Or pushing things off.
Yeah, or pushing things. Not like everybody's like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow type deal, right? And then when you get to New Year's, it's kind of like, all right, this I need to go ahead and start doing this and getting this done. That's how I feel about it. You guys can let us know in the comments how you feel about New Year's resolutions. I have spoke to other people, and they kind of agree with Isaiah about it. Like, New Year's resolutions is, don't nobody hold on to it anyway. It's kind of like a gimmick.
Yeah, I'm more on like a pessimist anyways. So I'm just like, I get why people do it, and I guess it's good to have that mindset. Like you said, a lot of people do just give up on it, and that's why I'm like, I'm not going to necessarily give up on it, but I'm not going to make it such a big deal that I'm going to put on a pedestal. It's something you got to do every day.
Right.
It's not something that you just create out of nowhere. It's something you have to think about and want to improve on every single day.
Right.
And it's a battle. Some days you don't want to do things. If you want to lose weight, you might fall off here. You might gain 5 pounds. You might lose 7 pounds. But it's just a journey. It's just an everyday thing about being a person.
Right.
Nobody's perfect, and every day is a struggle, just existing. So,
Yeah, I do agree. If you guys are team New Year's resolution, go ahead and write that in the comments. If you have any New Year's resolutions that you don't mind sharing with the Unclutch family, go ahead and put those in the comments as well. Any ones that we see, we'll hold y'all accountable. Every once in a while, I'm gonna tag you to see if you're still holding on to those New Year's resolutions that you said. But that's kind of how I picture the New Year's going, and there's a couple of goals and things that I gotta stick to. I am going to, one of the biggest goals that I have is making sure my knee is healthy, or at least finding out exactly what's wrong with it.
Going to the doctor.
Yeah, if that involves going to a specialist or a doctor or whatever, I'm gonna have to go ahead and get that done. But if I want to continue like playing ball and spending time with you guys on the court, which is something that I don't want to end at 32 years old. I'm just 32. We were playing what was that, last Friday, and on the other side there was a whole bunch of older guys. I'm gonna say they're older, but
they're in their mid-30s at least.
At least,
I hope, because they look up there.
But they were there, and they were hustling. I saw them hustling and shooting and going for rebounds, playing solid defense. Like they were out there, for fun. First of all, and then they were there to get their workout in, and they were still moving like men. They wasn't moving like old people. And that's kind of how I wanted. That's where I want to go. And if I don't get that knee checked out, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, hopefully it tell you like there's no structural damage or there's no need for surgery, but then at a certain point it's like, okay, well, how do I improve this?
Right.
If you can do physical therapy at this point, I feel like it would already healed, but it's like ongoing. That's my biggest thing. It's like, I don't believe I'm Superman, but I still have that young person mentality, like, oh, injuries, I just go to sleep and I'll wake up healthy.
Right.
And as of late, my last couple injuries, they linger, and then I do end up having to go to the doctor, and they tell me, oh, it's just this. I'm like, okay, what's the procedures? Like, oh, just wait. Wait 6 months or 6 weeks, whatever it is. When I fractured my foot earlier in 2024, I had to wait 3 to 4 months before I could move how I wanted to move. I didn't listen to the doctor. I didn't wear my boot. I was still playing basketball, full court, half court. I just wasn't running.
Right.
I would go to the gym. I'd do cardio on the bike. I just didn't run, which is what injured me in the first place. And now I have the little thumb thing. I'm gonna just wrap it up and see how that goes. But getting older, we have our injuries, and my thing is the duration of time that I'm not at whatever percentage I should be at. Whether at this point it's 85, 80, 70, I want to get to the highest percentage that I can be at for daily use.
Right.
I hate waking up with lingering injuries, and it's like every day it's the same thing, and we're just adding on to it. It's like, oh, it was my knee, now it's my foot, now it's my neck, now it's my finger, now it's my back. It's like, dude, I'm too young to have these kind of issues.
Right.
But that's the cost of like being active and being physical. And I'd rather have to deal with that than not be active, because being active is like what keeps me sane.
Right.
I want to be tired at the end of Friday nights. That's why I play 3 hours, so I can go to bed and just have a good night's sleep.
I saw you added another hour.
It's just the new norm now for us.
Goodness.
3 hours. We're getting at least 10 games in. Hopefully.
Yeah. As long as there's no fun. Random travel calls.
Yeah, we could go into that. You could throw some clips in there. At least the one from Sunday.
Man, dude, they have been calling travel on me crazy. I'm looking at you, Frank.
Damn.
I'm looking at you, bro. Called travel to prove a point, and then posted the clip in the chat. Now, the gather debate has been ongoing since the NBA has allowed it.
It's just so hard to call in real life.
Yeah,
which is why I don't think I've ever called it on you. Personally.
I don't honestly. If you ask me, okay, well, depending on when you pick up the ball, because like I've seen people like have the ball here, and then they'll take like 1 or 2 steps, and then they'll put their hand on the ball and then do their 1, 2, and then lay it up, and that's, to me, that's legal. You know what I'm saying? If you have it, you go and then you 1, 2 and go up. That's legal because you didn't have control of the ball, and you can take as many steps during a live dribble as you want. You know, so to me that's legal. Other people, disagree. You can. I'll put a couple of clips in, hopefully if I can find them, and I'll put them in here. And you can be the judge in the comment section whether that's a travel, those are clean or not.
But the 1 from Sunday or the 2 from Sunday definitely clean.
Yeah.
Friday debatable.
Right. And that's the one I'll add. I'll put it, and I have it super slow motion. I'll have it super slow motion for you, and then we can have this conversation in the comment section. But that's just. I say that to say that we go out there and we grind out there for 3 hours.
Yeah,
that's
for sure. I mean, some of us more than others. Just with, I guess, defensive effort or just overall effort, I guess. But we do our best, just to have fun for 3 hours. And if it was earlier, I don't know how early it could be, but I definitely probably want to eat after and stuff like that. But after that, I'll be like, man, I'm kind of tired.
No, maybe this week. We go out to eat all the time afterwards. You just be catching rain checks on it, man.
Yeah, I mean, usually I'm down for stuff, but it just depends like what I'm doing the next day. And it's like if I don't go to bed at a certain time, I'm not gonna want to get up and run or do certain things that I probably should do on my day off because the days just kind of are a blur, man. Monday through Friday, of course, you got a 9 to 5, and that goes by relatively fast. But the weekends just fly by.
Yep.
And you're just back square one, working again, and then hoping and praying you get an extra hour here or there to do what you want to do. And that's not very fun.
Yep.
And that's just being an adult, though.
That is part of being an adult, at least for the common adult. People have ways that they have done work their ways around it, and I applaud them for it. But
yeah, if you got out of the rat race, congratulations.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely in the rat race right now.
Yeah.
So,
well, the Rockets had the earliest game that they had lost to the Heat, and that was a very close game, and to me it was kind of unnecessarily close because they ended up,
we were ahead, but we couldn't score in the last 6 minutes
because they got rid of all of the people that. Okay, so what are your thoughts on the Fred VanVleet ejection?
I mean, even before that, it was still on us for allowing them back in the game and not being able to close because we don't have a closer, because we don't have that superstar. Things that we've been saying and other people have been saying this whole year after watching these games. We don't have a guy. We don't have the guy. And when it's time to step up, nobody really does. And that's what led to our downfall against the Heat. Fred got called for he got a flagrant, and then he got ejected. Or he got a technical, and then he got ejected because he tried to call timeout before the 5-second violation. Then the 5-second violation happened, and he got into it with the ref, and he accidentally bumped him, and he got tossed. I think the ref was probably right, to be honest with you. He waited 5 seconds, and then he tried to call timeout the last minute. It is what it is. The fact that we can't get the ball in from our starting point guard is a problem late in the fourth. That's already a problem. He got ejected. It is what it is. Next man up. Then Amen and Hero get into it. He flings Hero
tossed him.
He tossed
like
his
a
little
rag doll, bro.
But the thing is, he was talking shit well, I still won. I cooked you, and he's right. We can't. If you don't win the game, that's the whole point.
I mean,
you won the battle, but we lost the war. So we lost that game. It just goes to show what people have been saying this entire year, and we're not the first person or first people to say that. We just don't have a guy. And I don't know how we get that or who's available or if we want to do anything this year. I don't think we should unless it's the right fit and the right time and money-wise. But
I don't even think money is a problem for us. We have...
It could be down the line is what an issue with the new CBA.
I mean, I don't think Jalen Green got paid.
Green got paid.
Jalen
and
Green
Sengun got paid.
I mean, Sengun is forever developing. You can see in real time Sengun developing.
Yeah, and
Jalen
I don't
Green,
mind paying that. Jalen Green probably has to
Jalen
go.
Green plays right now the same way that he played when he was in the G League.
Yeah.
He plays the same exact way, albeit somewhat more efficient at times.
So against the Heat, let's go into that game. He dropped
He was cooking.
19 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds.
But he had most of that in the first half, though, didn't it?
I
believe most of it was in the first half, but yeah.
But then against the Mavericks, he had 22, 0 assists, and 5. I mean, the numbers are comparable, but 0 assists is not a good sign.
Mm.
You know, the points are fine. He's just inconsistent, and to take us to the next level, he can't be inconsistent. I don't know. He had that good month last year, after the birth of his kid, and that's what got him paid, to be honest. But we need more of that if we want to be a serious team in the Western Conference.
It was a good month for him because he was scoring. It wasn't like he was out there dishing assists.
I think it was his defense that went up at that time.
His defense went up too, but like that, Udoka's gonna get that defense right. I'm not really worried about Jalen Green's defensive because like I've seen him pull people for lack of defense.
Yeah, and as he should.
Yeah. It's just really his court vision. He only knows how to get his own bucket.
Yeah, that's something that I would assume that a veteran point guard would help him on. I guess him and Fred don't have the best relationship.
Do you think Fred I don't even at 9 years vet that Fred VanVleet is. I don't even know if Fred VanVleet can see the floor like an elite point guard.
I don't think he's elite by any means. He just happens to be a champion, but he'd be the only person to actually show him how to play that position. I don't think Jalen Green will ever be a point guard. I just want him to be more efficient.
Go get James Harden.
No, don't do that.
Go get James Harden.
Don't do that.
Man, come on.
We're not going anywhere with old dudes.
Like, that's what I'm saying. But see, James, look at what James Harden did for Tyrese Maxey. Look at what he did, and Tyrese Maxey.
I think that's a Tyrese Maxey thing.
No, because Tyrese Maxey has on several occasions publicly. God bless you.
Thank you.
Has on several occasions publicly thanked James Harden and told everyone that James Harden has helped him improve his development at the point guard position tenfold since when he was on the Sixers.
I don't think what he got out of Maxey, or that's like somebody who wanted to ask and improve. I don't think Jalen wants to improve in that aspect. I don't think he cares enough. I think Maxey's more of a dog than Jalen Green is. I don't see any dog from Jalen Green. He's only a dog when we're up. I don't see him like, hey, I'm going to will the team back from games. I've never seen that from him. I've never seen him do clutch things except make those 2 free throws against the Warriors to go to the cup semis or whatever. But I just don't see it. I think we shouldn't waste our time.
He jumped on that loose ball too, didn't he? That was a little dog in him.
That's a little bit. That's like a hustle thing, I guess. Yeah. But I just don't see it overall. And the same thing is the consistency. So if the consistency isn't there at this point in year 4, what's the point? You've seen enough. We've already seen enough tape. So at this point, just get rid of him. Either this year or in the off season when something better opens up.
So you got Jalen Green leave. You would like Jalen Green to be traded.
I think everybody wants him gone.
Really?
From what I've seen. I don't think anybody would mind as long as the deal is good.
That's the thing.
Nobody told me that's their favorite player on our team. Everybody's favorite player on our team is Alpi. So I've never heard Jalen Green's my favorite player on the Rockets.
I'm an Easton fan on the Rockets. Personally.
I mean, I haven't heard that either, but I know I could see that. I could see why somebody likes the way he plays or what he brings to the team. If you told me Amen, you told me Tari, you told me. See,
I feel like one of our hybrids got to be the ones to be traded. Out of Tari Eason and Jabari Smith, because they have similar roles, and so they don't really mesh on the floor well together. So
they're both not like very offensive based. I think Bari's better than Tari offensively.
You think that?
We don't use him. All we use him for is to shoot threes.
So what, you've seen him with a post game?
No, But we don't give him post touches because we have
Sengun.
Yeah.
So if you have already somebody who's really good in the post,
then you play to your strengths.
Right.
But I mean, I don't think they don't move the needle enough to like get a decent player. Green has to be involved in any trade. Then you start throwing in people like Whitmore or Reed.
I like Whitmore,
Jayshawn Tate or somebody. Anything to make the numbers work.
So ideally, see, that's the thing. That's another thing that we have. We have two different score first shooting guards. I don't think Reed Shepherd is a point guard, and he can't even. I don't even think
he's supposed to be, but he doesn't get enough playing time to become a good point guard.
Probably because his vision ain't there and his defense ain't there.
I could see his defense because he's smaller. He just plays scared.
Yeah,
he plays like I'm about to get yanked if I make a mistake,
and
which is probably true.
Yeah, he does probably get yanked.
I wish he could be on a better team, or if we were on our team 2 years ago where we didn't have any expectations, maybe he'd get more run.
Doc being an elite coach, Doc is an elite coach, by the way.
No, definitely not elite,
bro. So Doc had taken. To be honest, the only reason why Doc don't have 2 more rings is because one, the Rockets happened, the biggest fucking fourth quarter comeback in history.
It's a coaching problem.
It is not a coaching, bro. It was Josh Smith. Who would have thought that Corey Brewer
played better
and Josh Smith would come and hit you in the mouth?
Play better.
So as a coach, no. Think about this. If you're a coach, right? If you're a coach and Josh Smith and Corey Brewer are busting your head over with threes, you're like, hey, we got James Harden out of the game because remember, D'Antoni sat him.
Yeah,
D'Antoni sat him. So Doc said, all right, I got James Harden out of the game. Now it's up to the players to make sure that Corey Brewer and Josh Smith don't bust me upside the head. Like. How is that a coaching problem? How is that a coaching thing?
Call timeout.
He did. He called all the timeouts.
Figure it the fuck out.
He called all the timeouts in the world, bro. Like he called. He used every run the Rockets went on. He called timeout, stopped them, and he told them to get it together, bro. It was just that, and so that one was one, right? And then the other one, you can't tell me that that year, that Lob City year with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, that they wouldn't if Blake Griffin or Chris Paul didn't get hurt, that they wouldn't have at least got to the finals because they made it all the way to the second round. Well, all the way. They got to the second round.
The past is the past, bro.
I understand, but those are 2 potential rings that was taken away. Yeah, but how many other elite coaches have won games with their stars?
Coach. He's not a top 5 coach.
You can't even give me 5 coaches better than him.
He's not a top 5 coach right now.
Okay.
So I could, if I go look up all the coaches right now that are coaching,
bro, you got
not a top 5.
Like the fact that you have to go look them up shows that they're better. Steve Kerr's not a better coach.
He has more rings than him.
That doesn't mean that he's a better coach. He already had the team already together. He already had
inherited
that was Mark Jackson's
team, but he's won with that team. He's won without that team.
Mark Jackson would have won that. Mark Jackson would have won with that team.
We don't know that. But a lot of people do that.
The year that he had it together,
but we can't discredit what he did. He won with the team Mark Jackson set up. Okay, so he's won multiple times after that.
So,
but four-time winning coach.
What did Kerr do as a coach? What did he bring in? Like, I mean, you can say KD.
You have to know everything and be like, oh, he implemented this scheme. Just being a nicer guy. People weren't fucking with Mark Jackson. I watched a video today. People weren't fucking with him for his other random off-court shit. Either way, he got 4. All-time coach. You could say Greg Popovich a better coach than him, even though he's had a terrible last couple of years, but his team's been dog shit.
His team's been
2.
Yeah.
Honestly, Eric 1 for 1. We could say Ty Lue's up there.
No,
I could say Ty Lue's up there. Ty Lue has 1 ring. He has 1 ring. Are we gonna just discredit Ty Lue's ring because he had LeBron?
I mean,
if you're gonna do that, then Doc had the big 3.
So, he didn't have LeBron.
Either way. I'm not going to discredit Ty Lue because he's proved that he's still a decent coach.
He is a decent coach.
Above average.
He is above average.
I don't know about elite.
He's not elite.
Just in my head.
Okay. Eric Spoelstra.
I don't know. I'm going to say Budenholzer's the better coach.
Mike Budenholzer, old Bucks head coach?
Yes. I'm going to say he's a better coach than Doc Rivers.
Budenholzer
just because he hasn't failed as many times as Doc. If you fail that much, just like people shit on LeBron for his finals losses, Doc has had some implosions. He's had great teams. He was in Philly, great team. Or a good team. He was in L.A., with the Clippers. Good team.
Embiid was hurting. Like you might
either way.
Man, Doc might be snake bitten, bro. Two 40-point games by James Harden. 2 40-point games by James Harden. And Tyrese Maxey had 33.
Up hamstring, and I get that, and things happen or whatever, but you got to deal with whatever you got to deal with. I just don't think he's an elite coach. I'm sure he's a good coach, but he's not an elite coach.
Okay. But like I said,
if the Bucks didn't take a chance on him, he wouldn't be coaching right now.
I don't think Mike Budenholzer is better than Doc Rivers. As a matter of fact, the only people that I am would confidently put over Doc is, like I said, Greg Popovich and Spoelstra.
Oh, Eric's up there too.
I don't
because he wins with teams that shouldn't be winning.
Right.
And he does that more than once.
He coaches his
Kenny Atkinson currently is a better coach just because his team is number 1 in the East. We haven't seen Mazzulla. I mean, he got 1 ring, but he's kind of a fresh coach, like a 3-year-old coach.
I don't know. But once again, that's kind of Udoka's team.
But that was the year after, though.
No, that was the year.
Was
like
no.
Udoka as a rookie.
Year.
Udoka as a rookie got to the finals.
Yeah, and then the year after he got fired, and Mazzulla won.
Yeah.
Okay, that I guess, but that wasn't. I guess
that was that's Udoka team. I don't think Mike
Udoka couldn't do it
because he got fired.
I mean, he got there, but he didn't win. Either way, it's all in wins and losses. Did you do it or did you not?
That was the Warriors' last hurrah. I don't see them going
one
crazy
ring
no
coach. Budenholzer has 1. Mike Malone has 1. Spoelstra has what?
Spoelstra has
3.
Yeah,
he has 1 with Wade and 2 with LeBron.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Steve Kerr has 4. Tyronn Lue has 1. Popovich 5. Spurs.
Mm-hmm. They have 5.
Mm-hmm. Rivers 1. Nick Nurse, he has 1 technically with the Raptors. These are all like 1-win coach.
Nick Nurse was. Bro,
I'm not gonna put Nick Nurse up there.
I'm about to say.
I think that was. I don't want to say
he was
with
Philly. It wasn't that good.
He's with Philly right now.
Yeah.
But everything kind of fell in his lap. He got Kawhi. People got hurt. It is what it is. If you play who's in front of you, I'm not gonna discredit him. But he is a winning coach. I just don't think he's a top 5 coach right now. Currently. That baggage weighs on you.
I'm putting him up there. I understand, but I'm putting him up there. If you've gotten this far and you disagree with him being top 5, put him. Let us know where you put him, where he ranks. I feel like he ranks anywhere between 3 and 5. He doesn't think that he's in top. What you got him top 10?
I don't think he's top 5. I'm sure he's top 10, but I don't think he's top 5. Okay. But then it's also like a lot of teams. Coaches are just there. Some of the guys are just there to collect a check.
Yeah.
Mike Brown got fired. He's not a terrible coach. He got the Kings to the playoffs in the first time in like 16 years.
Right.
And got fired. He got coach of the year and got fired the next year. Which is like something that happens apparently around the league.
That's crazy how that happens, right?
It happens. It happened like 3 times.
Way too often.
Yeah, but these owners are impatient, and the player empowerment, they just blame the coach. So the first thing they do is they blame the coach. The GM's not going to blame themselves. So they blame the coach, and the players get no accountability, and that's why the league is the way it is. Spoiled little brats.
Yeah, and if you listen to the older basketball players, Lou Williams, Gil,
Jeff
Teague, all of those guys, they'll sit there and tell you, oh, this league is just not what it used to be, and this, that, and the other. But I mean, they have a point. They have a point to an extent. I feel like when you make a player an all-around player, so back in the day, having a player that can do everything was unicorns basically. Everybody had a role to play, which is why they came up with the 1 through 5. So when you played within that role and you were great at your role, you would make X amount of money, but it was easy to manage a team because each role has a select,
like defined.
Yeah, has defined. So everything is in an envelope, so to speak. Now, the teams care about players that can do two things. Then that's when you got the two ways, and then you got 3-level scores, and then they was like, oh, that's all we're looking for is 3-level scores. People that can, I mean, when you got people like LeBron changing the scope of the game, people want that. People want a little bit of that on their team. So that is going to inherently boost the egos, the heads of the basketball players.
It's the money more than anything. Because they have guaranteed contracts, and the CBA allows them to get paid an exorbitant amount of money.
Right. So but all of that stuff was in place because of the fact that they wanted these players to be like that. So if
player empowerment.
Let's just put it this way: if everybody had to play within their 5 positions, none of this other stuff would have been happening. None of this stuff would have been happening. You would have had a salary range for point guards. You would have a salary range for shooting guards, and so on and so forth. And nobody would really be willing to go outside of that envelope, no matter how good their point guard was, no matter how good their shooting guard was. You'd have that.
I think that would be comparable more for NFL. NBA is more
player that's where they both came from.
But you can't. There's not going to set a cap on. Well, it's like in the NFL, running backs can only make a certain amount of money.
Right.
That's because the owners are in like collusion with each other. Say we're not paying a running back more than this.
Right.
NBA, you're going to pay your guy, especially small market, because that's your guy.
Right.
You're going to pay whoever you got if they deserve it. If they hit certain accolades, they're All NBA, All Star, Defensive Player of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, scoring title, MVP. If they hit certain things, they're going to get paid.
Right.
So I mean, that's more for NFL. In NBA, it's more because they make so much because of the product and the way the TV deals are structured, and we have guaranteed contracts.
Yeah.
NFL, you can get paid a lot, but on paper, it's nothing. They can rip up your contract and just cut you and waive you. It does, and your contract's not guaranteed.
Well, they're starting to do more and more guaranteed contracts
because they know people are getting fucked and they're getting screwed. So, but a lot of the time, their contracts on toilet paper. It's like if you don't have any guaranteed signing money or signing bonus money, anything else doesn't matter. You hurt yourself, you're running back, and you blow your knee out, it's over.
Yeah.
You're gonna get cut. You're gonna get waived. NBA, they gotta deal with you.
Yeah.
You're gonna get paid. They'll trade you and send you to this team, send you to Detroit, send you to OKC, wherever back in the day. They might just cut you or waive you, but you're still getting paid.
Yeah, well, a part of the reason why I think that is because the games, first off, because in football you only have 16, 17 games in a season, and then in basketball you have 82 games in a season, and then in the postseason you have another 36 games in basketball, and then another 5 games in football.
Well, it's 3 rounds, 7 games max.
3 rounds.
That's 21
plus the championship.
Plus another 7. That's 28.
28. So you have another 28 games in the postseason. That's 100 plus games. Or I think that's 100 exactly. No. 82 plus 28. That's 110. My math is terrible. Anyway.
That's 110.
Yeah, that's what I thought. 110. That's 110 games. So you can, and there's no injury, or it's not very often that you will see an injury in basketball where their career is done. You know what I mean?
I mean, there are some that are worse than others, of course.
Right.
But I mean,
it's way more. It happens way more. It happens way more often in the NFL because the time is so short. Yeah. So I can understand why the NBA is more confident in giving fully guaranteed contracts, because they're going to be like, hey, even if he gets injured one year, he's not going to fall off a cliff and be completely worthless to me next year. So it makes it makes sense.
Just the CBA is better.
Yeah, and then of course that is good too.
Those dudes are hungry for money. They reworked it, but it's still crap.
Yeah,
they're still getting screwed because guys on practice squad are getting screwed. A lot of guys are getting screwed up and down the roster. NBA have a tighter niche or tighter knit community, and their player president is better. I think it's Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Brown's the president. It ain't Chris Paul no more.
No, Jaylen Brown, president of Players Association.
He's a VP.
He's VP.
Yeah, I think who's the leader?
CJ McCollum.
CJ McCollum.
I guess.
Well,
my name's up there, so I mean, that makes sense. CJ McCollum is the president. Jaylen Brown is the vice president.
Grant Williams and Mason Plumlee.
Secretary Treasurer. I mean, it's cool. Donovan Mitchell's up there.
JJ, Triple J.
Garrett Temple. It's cool to have, I think they care about the league and where it's going, and they care about the players in it and make sure that everybody's getting their fair share, and that's important.
Yeah.
NFL, just for outside looking in, I think it's more like, hey, the top guys care about the top guys, and then everybody else just get what you can get, like a scrap thing.
Right.
But, different leagues, different mentalities, different mindset. NBA career is a lot longer than NFL career. The average years way better. Baseball, even better than that. So
yeah, money in baseball is crazy.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's crazy money.
And then your longevity is way better too.
Right.
You're playing a lot of games, but you just get beat up less or in a different way. So NFL will never be where these other leagues are at, just because of the nature of the sport and just like the greed that's in it.
With how it is going and how I feel like it's a monster. I don't want to say LeBron created it, but
no, definitely not. It's before him, and it's not even his fault right now.
What the guaranteed money and the baby fine of the league isn't LeBron's fault? You don't think?
I'm not putting that on LeBron. Putting that on one person is an issue. That's just like a scapegoat.
I mean, you could say it's a scapegoat, but there has been an obvious shift in players and that kind of things. There's been an obvious shift.
Yeah, it's just the way the league's gonna go. I mean, he's such an important player. He is the most important player to the NBA right now. And when he retires, you will see a drop off. There's already a drop off, anyways. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna say that dictates that he should get whatever he wants, but it's definitely a player empowerment league. When he chose to move teams and he showed other players that it's okay to move teams, it's okay to ask for trades. Then even lower tier guys started doing it. That was the most.
I'm telling you, that was it felt like the world shook when LeBron had left.
When he left on good terms, or not on good terms, but he left. It was his contract was up, and he chose to sign with the Miami Heat.
Right, but it was just so unheard of, bro. I don't know about it being unheard of, but we were talking.
They didn't expect it.
People were talking about it everywhere, and then the next thing,
burning jerseys and shit like that.
And then the next thing that people were talking about crazy was when Durant went to the Warriors.
Well, I think that doesn't happen if LeBron doesn't go to the Heat.
Okay,
but
so he started.
It was a worse thing. He didn't start it technically. He's just the biggest name. When the biggest name does something, then everybody else follows the king. Everybody else follows the best player and the voice of the generation. So anything subsequently from his decision is attached to him for that reason. If he jumps, everybody else jumps. It's just the way it is. He's a leader by default. Kevin Durant going to the Warriors, everybody knows that's not a great move. It's a pussy move.
He got a ring out.
He got two rings from it, but nobody even cares about it. Yeah, he got back to back.
Yeah. Okay.
He would have had three.
He would have had three.
Hurt and Clay got hurt, and they lost to the Raptors and Kawhi in 2019. But yeah, I mean, his rings are like people call LeBron's Disney ring fake. Nobody cares about Kevin Durant's rings. I like Kevin Durant. I just can't.
Nobody cares about Kevin Durant winning those rings because no one is.
Kevin Durant's probably he's a top 15 player of all time. Yeah, he's a top 15 player of all time. It's just that was such a bad move, and him not winning after the fact doesn't help him. And he tried to go from super team from the Brooklyn Nets with Kyrie and James Harden, and then he tried to go to the Suns with Booker and Beal. It's not working. At a certain point, you have to look in the mirror and say, it's me.
Yeah.
That's really the problem. And I think all those guys need to do it, Kyrie and James Harden.
Kyrie kind of settled in with the Mavericks.
With Mavs, it's fine, but he's on a different mindset, and he's in a better mental state. I think he dropped some of the ego, which is good. And he just grew up a little bit more, which is great. So.
Yeah, no longer flat earth Kyrie,
Yeah, he's just more adult. I mean, he was already in his late 20s, early 30s, but I think having all that money and being not challenged for a lot of your life because you are so successful, you're growing at a different rate than like people like us. Right. It's like, people are always in your face kissing your ass. Nobody's kissing my ass. Right. Or not to that level.
I would love for people.
We all got to live our own lives, but I'm glad if people are messing with me, I know they mess with me because they like me.
Yeah.
Not because I can give them money or I can, take them on trips or take them out to dinner and stuff like that. Like they
I'm
just
cool with
start
having
liking
it both
me 'cause
ways.
they like me.
I'm not even gonna front. If, because the thing about it is, for the most part, I'll figure it out if you around for the money or
Yeah, because you've been here. If you're there for so long, maybe you lose sight of that.
Yeah, of course. Because
I wouldn't
Kyrie
want
from freaking, he was in AAU. He was a
He's
star.
probably been the best player.
Yeah, he's
one
been
of the best players for every team he's played for, and he's been projected to be who he is forever.
Right.
So he's been dealing with it for a number of years.
Okay.
It would be a lot different if you spent 32 years of your life normal, and then you automatically, like if you got
hit the lottery,
$2 million tomorrow, I bet your phone will be blowing up.
Oh yeah, people would be calling me.
The people that wouldn't give you time of day today would be trying to get with you tomorrow.
Yep.
And then you would clearly see, like, hey, you weren't fucking with me here. Of course, you like me now, and you understand that. But if they kind of just let it shoe on their way in through your life, you'd be like, oh, that's normal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I would definitely know that too. It's like, nah, you never text me, you never checked up on me, and now you want to call me.
Mm-hmm. But once again, that'll wrap up episode 9 of the Unclutch podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris.
Hey, what's going on? It's Isaiah.
And if you've made it this far, obviously you like what we're putting out. Just consider subscribing, liking, sharing, telling one of your friends, and if they like it and they feel the same way, they'll tell one of their friends, and then it'll just keep going, so on and so forth. That's just kind of how this goes. Do you have anything for us, Ralphie? You got anything to say?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year from the Unclutch family. This is Chris signing off.